Kirk, first off, man, welcome
Thank you.
back to the ATL.
Yeah,
I know you spent some time here in Atlanta, but just talk about being back here and what it means to you and your family.
This is a thrill. We just look around and we're so grateful for this opportunity, the way the Lord has orchestrated events to get here, and just can't wait to get to work. There's so much work to do to make up for lost time, but we feel that this is a great opportunity as a quarterback to step in here and help lead and be a part of what we're trying to build.
Wife is from here.
That's right.
You spent a lot of time here. Your boys, you said one of your boys were born here, right?
That's right.
Just take me through the moment you told them. Was it your wife like, okay, yeah, let's do it? Or was it like your boys like, let's go back to Atlanta full time? What was that like when you told them about the opportunity?
Yeah, she for a while knew that it was a possibility.
Yeah.
But she's always been up for the adventure. And so if I told her, hey, we're going to the farthest corners of the earth for football, she'd say, okay, let's go, another adventure. But I think her family, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-laws, I think this is pretty cool for them. They're sports fans. They followed it for so long. And so to have their sister, their daughter come home like this, and we can be a part of it so directly and officially, I think it's a thrill for everybody in the family.
I would love for you to tell fans about your ties to the city. And
sure.
I know there are a lot of different avenues that make you an Atlanta Falcon, but also how did this process get here where you got so many ties to it?
Yeah, so my wife grew up here, went to UGA, as did her older brothers, as did her parents. The whole basement of my in-laws' house is UGA and red and black and silver britches, and so I got indoctrinated in that pretty quickly. Our first date was at Stone Mountain.
Nice.
Our wedding was in Roswell. My second son, Turner, was born on Ted Turner Drive in downtown Atlanta.
It's Turner, right?
So it's Turner.
Yeah.
And so when we would come here on a bye week, to visit the family, we'd be watching the Falcons.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun now to be a part of it and to officially be involved in this city. Whereas in the past, I just kind of been home away from home.
Yeah.
And so we're ready to get going.
All right, take me through, obviously, everybody wants to know how's the Achilles. Everybody saw the Achilles injury, but I was looking for stuff, and you've never really been injured. I mean, you missed 2 games from 2015 all the way up until you had the Achilles this year, but how's the Achilles doing, and what's the process so far?
It's been up and to the right so far. We're 4 months in. I got about, I would say, 3 to 4 months to go, and got to get with the training room here, with the Falcons and make up for lost time, get going. And I expect to, be able to be doing some on-field work as we get going through OTAs, and hopefully near the end before the summer break, really be able to do the team reps.
Right.
But we got to take it one day at a time and try to get there.
I remember you talking about your first ever surgery, right?
Yes.
What's the process been like so far of learning of, okay, now I have to take things slow.
Yeah.
I can't, be on the field. I mean, what's that process like for you?
I was nervous about, is this going to be boring? Am I going to be going crazy?
Yeah.
But it was positive. I think first of all, the training staff in Minnesota did a great job keeping spirits up, having a plan. You build a relationship with the guys who are in there, who are rehabbing together. And we just kept meeting markers, kept making the next mini goal, chasing those mini goals, and we're still doing that. And I'm excited about getting in here and getting going and eventually getting out here in football cleats and moving like a football player again.
No doubt. All right, so what sold you on this organization? Obviously, there are a lot of different pieces, but what sold you on, I want to take my next step, my next part of my career to the Atlanta?
I could go on and on about the positives of being an Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah.
And I could tell you a bunch of different things, but I think it ultimately would boil down to the fact that I believe, and you've lived this too, I think you know this, when the owner, general manager, head coach, and quarterback are on the same page, and everybody in that link trusts one another to do their part.
Right.
I think that's when you have the best chance to win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And when I looked around, I felt that Atlanta met that criteria, that those 4 people, I think we're all going to trust each other and believe that we're doing our part individually to help us all win a Super Bowl. And ultimately, that's what it boiled down to.
What do you think contributes to your success? Because, you've had tons of success in your career. 7 seasons, over 4,000 yards. You've had 8 years where, you've thrown 25-plus touchdowns. That's hard to do in this league. I played in this league. It's tough to do. You got a lot of fast dudes on the other side. But what do you think contributes to that success that you've had? Of course, other guys around you.
Right, that'd be my first answer.
Yeah,
I've been fortunate to be on great coaches and great players. That's where it starts, and I think that's what I'll have here in Atlanta as well. I think that ultimately as a quarterback, it comes down to great decision-making. Can you be accurate? And can you be consistent? And if you can do those things, the production will be there, the wins will be there. But before all that, you do need to have great people around you, and that's why we're so excited to be Falcons.
Talk about the first person that reached out to you, because I know you got teammates that reach out to you when you come to a new environment. What was that first conversation like with whoever reached out to you?
Sure, yeah. Kyle Pitts was recruiting me early before we even got to free agency. He was texting and did a great job making me feel wanted. And then I was pretty proactive. Once it got out that we were going to be agreeing to a contract, I started calling teammates and trying to introduce myself. And so, I was trying to get ahead of it a little bit. And I'm really impressed with the caliber of guys we have on this team.
Now, Kyle, we know, is a guy who wears a particular number.
Yeah,
and it's blowing up all over social media. What is he going to wear? What is Kirk going to wear? Where does that stand right now? I know you guys haven't had that conversation.
We haven't. I don't have an update, and I don't even know the rules of the league. They may have rules that say, hey, Kyle's not allowed to switch his number. So we still have a lot to learn. But Kyle made it available to be switched. He told me he's open to that. I told him I'm open to switching myself. So I just want to be a good teammate, and we'll see what the league says.
When you look at, obviously, you've known Ross since your time in Washington. Zach Robinson, another guy who comes from, a really good tree of coaches. What about Terry Fontenot, Zach Robinson, that intrigued you?
Yeah, I can go on and on about all three of them. I think Zach, coming from L.A., where I've worked with Sean McVay, and there should be some continuity there as far as the language and how we read plays. I think that will help. I think we'll be speaking the same language quite a bit from the start. I was with Ra in Washington for 2 years. I know his demeanor, the way he leads, his cheerful personality. I just think it's a great fit. And then, seeing the success that Terry has had building this roster, but then also going back to his days in New Orleans, knowing what it took there to win. I just think it lines up well for a lot of people who have seen it done at a high level and led well. And I'm thrilled to be able to be a part of it now moving forward.
I saw a really cool video of you thanking Minnesota.
Yeah.
And classy moment for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Now you're in Atlanta. What do you say to the Falcon fans?
Yeah, I'm just thrilled to be here. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's a true privilege to be able to quarterback the Falcons, and I don't take that lightly. And I believe that with that privilege comes a lot of responsibility. And I've got a big job to do, and I need to be held accountable. And I'm looking forward to the challenge to not only get myself ready to play, but to get others around me ready to go. And that doesn't start in several months. It starts tomorrow, getting to work and building this team the right way. And we got to get our hands dirty and get to work.
Well, one last thing. A lot of people love the chain. They love the swagger and all that. Does that continue as we go through a city that's used to having that kind of lore?
No doubt. I've always said, if we're winning, all that stuff is great. The chains thing doesn't work really well if you're not winning. So I expect to win, and as a result, I expect all the fun to go with it. But I want to bring my full force of personality here, and I think the change is part of that.
All right. Last question I got for you. Draft is coming up.
Yeah.
Tell them about your draft experience. Falcons going to be the draft. Tell me about your draft experience and what that was like.
Yeah, I was a fourth-round pick. At the time, I thought I had an outside chance of being a first-round pick, but thought I might go in the second or third. And I watched Thursday go by, watched Friday go by. I went to bed Friday night, a little discouraged. I didn't get picked. But I remember when Mike Shanahan called me and said, I'm taking you early in the fourth round. And I thought, Mike Shanahan knows a thing or two about quarterbacks. If he's picking me, that's a good sign. And it ended up being the best thing for my career to get to work with the people that I got to work with those early years and get a foundation, including Raheem Morris being there. You can see how God's hand is over it and directing our steps, and has now led us 12 years later to Atlanta. And we just feel like we're living a dream and want to finish strong here in Atlanta.
Awesome. We're glad to have you, man. And let's go win a lot of games, brother.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Great to see you, DJ.